Welcome to the Richmond Events podcast, where we take you inside the UK's most exclusive business forums. You'll get to meet the delegates, suppliers and speakers shaping their industries. Richmond Events. This is where business gets done.
Hello and welcome to Richmond Events. We're here at the Retail and E-Commerce Directors Forum and I'm joined by John. John, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. So tell us, John, who you are, what your role is and the business.
So I'm John Redmond. I'm the founder of a business called Ask Bosco, which was developed by my marketing agency, Moto25. So Moto25 helps ambitious brands in-house their digital marketing. So we teach them how to do it and show them what to do and help them transition from being reliant on an agency to taking full control. And that's underpinned by some technology I built with the founder of Skyscanner called Ask Bosco. And that basically stitches all your data together from your e-com channels and your e-com platform with all your marketing channels so you can make sense of your data and then just talk to it and ask it questions, because we believe the world doesn't need more dashboards, it needs more insights and answers.
Yes.
So that's what we help people do.
Incredible. So what was the challenge you saw businesses having that made you go, I'm just going to make this for them?
So in a former life with the previous agency, we solved this problem for Argos. And basically, when you're Argos, you've got big budgets, you've got big spending millions of pounds a month, hundreds of stores, tens of thousands of products, and they had a wealth of data. So building what was, I think people called it this morning, boring AI.
Yes.
So AI has been around for a long time. We've been in AI for a long time. So it was machine learning, algorithms, predictive models, and we could help Argos predict what's products they should push, when they should push them, how much they should be spending on Google, where they should move their budgets around. And I was like, well, wouldn't it be great if we could give that to other people? And every time we brought that back to the house, and the data scientists would go, not enough data, not enough data. So I was like, well, surely with the advancement in machine learning and AI, we can build a product that will work for someone spending £5,000 a month on Google. And wouldn't it be great if we could do that across Facebook, TikTok, and everything else and join it all together? So we saw a real life problem with a company with big budgets in the enterprise space, took that, transposed it so that any company of any size could have the benefit of that.
Phenomenal.
So that's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like mind-blowing work. So how does coming to the Richmond event help the business and help the suppliers?
So I think the challenge in growing any business now is actually getting in front of the right people at the right time. Mm-hmm. And well, if we just think, how many emails have you deleted today without reading, right? Yeah, cold email's hard, email marketing's hard. Like people don't like being cold called, but although we still do and it works, but it's hard. So what's good about the Richmond events is you get a list of who's coming, and I went through the list of like who's a perfect client for us to talk to. I said I'd like to meet those people, and then I said I don't want to meet those because it's not relevant for them. And then you get matched up with people who hopefully understand the problem that you solve. And today, every single person we met goes, yeah, I've got that exact problem. I need to test this and try it. So, and this is not the first business I've done for Richmond Events with. I've done it for many businesses before, and it has really gets you direct access to decision makers who, hopefully, if you do your research, solve the problem that you have. They have the problem that you solve, and having that face-to-face time, I suppose it then comes down to how well you present yourself, what decent merch you give out, and then I suppose the other bit is getting to know them on a real level. So yesterday we played golf, and that was great. Met some really good people, and then in the bar last night watching the Leeds game, probably met two of the best. So we were all watching the football together. Leeds United beat Manchester United. Don't know if that's a big thing.
That's huge.
Massive.
Yeah,
So I met some Leeds United fans who are also retailers, who are now my new best friends, which you wouldn't get at other sort of events. And then hopefully the same will happen at dinner tonight. So I think it's meeting people on a real level in a nice environment in a nice hotel.
Incredible. So, because the thought of some businesses, when you said to them, right, you're going to come out for a day of golf, then a day of business, and you're going to be 2 nights away and 2.5 days away from the business, that can strike fear into them. But already you're showing the value of the relationships that you've built.
Yeah, well, I think if you were in a sales operation, if you said, well, I don't know, if one of your salesperson could have 12 meetings in a month, you'd be happy. Well, I've had 12 meetings today. So you've just got to look at it from that point of view. And then you've got to be smart in your prep, and you've got to be smart in how you approach your meetings, make sure you've done your research, and then equally as smart in your follow-up, and make sure you get commitment for that follow-up. But if you genuinely want to get in front of lots of potential retailers or e-commerce brands, this is a really good way to do it.
And like you say, those 12 meetings that you'd want on a monthly basis, that, you know, that's a good figure, but also are they with the decision makers? Whereas this is what this has brought you, is the actual decision makers, rather than, oh, sounds great to me, but now I've got to pass it through 3 other lines of management.
And I think advice for anybody thinking about coming to these sorts of events is don't just look at the brands, look at who in the brand the meeting is with, especially if it's a big brand, because there's maybe 4 or 5 different people from one big brand, and you could think, oh yeah, Adidas, great. And then Adidas is a behemoth of a business, and there's loads of different people. So it's just as important making sure you've got your ICP decision maker rather than just the brand. Because when I've done this before and I got my prep wrong, I'd meet a man and go, oh yeah, I'll introduce you to such and such. And then you're 2 steps away and you have a lovely chat, and it's not their area, it's not their thing. So the research beforehand is as important as how you show up on the day.
And this is your first time attending as Ask Bosco and the Mod 25.
Yeah.
But what, having had previous experience in, what value did that add to your businesses?
So every business, so right back to when Richmond Events used to do the boat, and that was all really good fun. I'd not only met actual customers who have then subsequently been customers in all my other businesses and become industry friends, you also meet potential partners, because there's lots of other people in the same ecosystem. So there's, quite funny, one of my former salespeople is now an MD of another company that's here, and we were commenting about how we've been going to these events, and both of us, and he's now grown 2 other businesses also using Richmond Events because the formula works. So I think you build longer term better relationships, and also I think certainly as a founder, so I was talking to another founder who's here representing his business, even though we've both got sales teams, when you're meeting senior decision makers and they know they're meeting the founder, it gives them a bit more confidence in what you're doing, and they know they can phone you.
So something quite interesting I found you said then as well is this is about business growth. And I've heard that a lot today in relation to the learning and development side of things because of the workshops and the keynotes that are going on. But you're saying like physical actual growth because people are buying from you sat here right now.
Well, yeah, I suppose it depends how good what you're selling
Yeah,
is.
but it's buying right this second.
But also I don't think people necessarily like being sold to. So I think it's about asking people, doing your prep, asking people good questions, and then aligning their problems with the thing you've built. And you go, well, that's exactly why we built this. This is what it does. So, and really understanding who your customer is and putting yourself in front of the customers. If you've got the right solution, you should get new customers.
Incredible. So, I mean, I feel like you've sold the event beautifully, or at least marketed it well. But what would you say to someone who sat right on that cusp going, should I, shouldn't I? And I suppose, what role should they come as? A delegate, a supplier? How do they make that decision?
Well, if you're a retailer, I think the opportunity to learn, and that's one of the things as a supplier, I'd like to go sit in more of the sessions and learn more stuff, but there just isn't the time. So I think the opportunity, so I've been to lots of different events like this, and I think if you're thinking, well, I want to understand and scratch my itch about 4 or 5 different types of technology or services, it's a good place to do it all in one go, rather than have loads of meetings over the year. And then you can just ignore all those salespeople for the rest of the year and just do it in 2 days in a nice environment, go play golf, get the benefit of a nice facilities. But also as a sort of supplier, it's just a really good way, even if you're early stage, to get feedback on your proposition. Whereas if I'd sat here today and everybody said, no, I haven't got that problem, well, we haven't got a good product. But at least you've validated that really quickly. And I suppose depending on your price point as a supplier, you only need 1 or 2 clients and it will pay back. I've got a client we've signed up in a previous business that's been with us for years that we met at a Richmond event. So, and they've bought from me multiple businesses multiple times.
Fantastic. John, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you for having me.